God, this is a very holy day. I rest in God, this is a very special day. Let go and remember Him. Let go and live in peace. Let go of doubt and fear. And remember, He loves you very dear. I rest in God, this is a very holy day. I rest in God, this is a very special day. When He finished with all that He made, He saw that all was very good.
Welcome. I am Dan Crothers. Glad to be here at Unity of Beaverton, good old Oregon. We're broadcasting live from our new production studio, and we are so glad to be a part of the beginning of sharing with the world that which will lead us to safety, protect us in times of turmoil like we are facing in the world today. So our message is to be one of hope and yet one of caution, that we must do what we need to do in order to survive the cataclysmic changes that will be happening on the planet that have begun but yet are only going to get worse. And we're going to need each other to stay safe. We don't need each other to mass a little army together and go kill police officers or other human beings. We don't want to do that. We want to follow what it says in the Bible, for instance, the meek shall inherit the earth. The meek. Now that word in Greek has two meanings to it. One is strength. To be meek is to be strong. And the other meaning of the word is mildness or peacefulness. So you put strength and peace together and you have the word meek. The meek will inherit the earth not because they're weak, but because they are strong and they keep their integrity. I was reading in Epic Times, has a little saying at the top every time you read their daily newspaper. And it says, Dwight Eisenhower said, if a man doesn't have his integrity, he has nothing. He must have integrity. And I'm misquoting it, but the point was, I thought, well, that's very interesting that Eisenhower said, we have to live absolutely with integrity. Now that's a president of the United States saying, we must live with integrity. Now, I know that we have a lot of rumors about our current president not living with integrity, but I'd also be careful about saying anything like that, because in Proverbs it says, do not speak ill of the leader of your people. For a bird may carry that slanderous statement to the leader of the people, and the leader of the people will send his armies to shut your mouth. And again, I'm misquoting it, but I know that that's what it's saying. So we're not here to speak ill of anybody. We're here to serve God and point everybody towards living with integrity. Now, what does that mean to live with integrity? Well, let's take a look at that. To live with integrity. How do I live with integrity? Well, I don't do bad things. Let's start with that. I'm not going to steal. I'm not going to break any of the 10 commandments. Now, I know that when Jesus came, he abolished the law, but the point was that love became even more embracing. In fact, Jesus said, I want you to love not one another as yourself, but to love each other like I have loved you, which is he was willing to give his life for his friends and his brothers, sisters. So, to live with integrity in this world means to seek love above all else. This is the kind of world that we're looking to have, that we hope we get in the long run after Satan has been taken away from the planet and put somewhere where he can't influence it anymore. Now, why has God let this happen? Well, let's be careful and not put God down for letting this happen. Let's just say we don't maybe fully understand. And yet maybe there are answers too that we can look at that would give us at least an option towards saying, well, God doesn't care about us, that's why he's letting us go on. No. Let's say that in order for free will and the will of the people to become still free, it has to be trained. And it has to make decisions that are in line with free will, but also in line with doing what is right. And those that are going to do what is right, in the end, will be those whom God will choose to live in the new world. All those who are living with the satanic view of kill and destroy and dominate and control and wipe out the population and all of that, those kind of personalities are not what God is looking for. God is looking for people who want to live in peace and care for one another and be responsible towards one another, to be responsible to life. We have to live our lives showing that we care by working towards the benefit of all. We don't want to be known as Genghis Khan, because God didn't honor Genghis Khan's style of rulership. But Genghis Khan was honoring Satan's style of rulership: kill, dominate, rule by fear. Now, if we're going to live with integrity, then we would have to have faith that what God is asking us to do is to live with strength and to be peaceful. Paul said, as long as it depends upon you, be peaceable with all men. Now, it doesn't mean that we can't speak for truth and be adamant about it, or disagree with lies. But the secret of the sauce here is that we have to read in the Word, and the Word just isn't some book written by Israelites. I'm not with that concept of that the Israelite God is the only God. Because even in the book that we have, called the Bible, it says that God turned away from the Israelite nation and turned to the nations so that people of all nationalities could represent him. And so we see that this being a spiritual worshiper, follower of God, of Jesus Christ, doesn't mean that you have to be a Jew. And not putting down Jews or anything like that, because at one time they were honored all through history by God of the Bible standing up for them. So I'm in no means putting down the Israelites, but I am saying that there even in Romans chapter 1, verse 21, Paul says that there is written in creation itself, the qualities of God are readily available to be seen by all. So it isn't just a book that delivers the truth, but our own senses and minds can perceive the truth about God. That the infinite diversity, the infinite harmony, the qualities of kindness, gentleness, the nurturing of animals, insects, nurturing their young, protecting their young, being strong and ferocious in the face of the threat of life. These are okay. I mean, maybe it turns one into a pretty mean monster, protecting their young. Don't mess with a mother who is protecting her young. So we see even in nature this idea of strength exists to defend the innocent. And so back to my concept here of it isn't just a book written by Israelites that is where we find the truth. Although you will find me quoting a lot from that book, because that book was written for people to learn from the stories and examples of what happened in the name of God. So, the Bible's okay. But the law of creation and the observing of creation is another way that we can learn about God. And the wisdom of life isn't just for a select few, but it's available to all. So, I want to go back to my beginning here, is that we are facing cataclysmic change. In the Bible, of course, it talks about a final day called Armageddon. And whether that's a day or a period of time, and it will, as it says, speak of the destruction of and the end of the lives of those who have not been chosen by God to survive. Now, I will say that there are a group of men on the planet that want Armageddon to come. They want a reduction of the population of the planet because they believe that it's essential that we bring the population down to 500 million. And preferably the 500 million that they choose to be. And if you'd have to be really super mega rich, super mega greedy, and want everything, and power and control. And I'm thinking that no, that's not going to be how it's going to come down. When all hell breaks loose, those that live with integrity and have come together to protect one another and to stay out of killing others, in the name of self-protection, although maybe that happens, and would God forgive? I would guess. But again, to be meek is to be peaceful. As long as it depends on you, be peaceable with all men. Live with integrity. Stay out of the scene. In the Bible, I think it's James chapter 1, verse 25. It says that we should keep ourselves separate from the world. Even Paul talked about it. We're not to be part of the world. The world is under the power of the wicked one right now. 1 John 5:19. The whole world is lying in the power of the wicked one, it says. And so, James 1:17, I think that's what it was. We are to stay separate and without spot from the world. Now, you think of the Amish and these kind of people that really live in their own little societies of peace and living with the land and living with a sense of sacred community and commitment towards one another. And that's what I'm promoting. Sacred community. We come together while the world is going crazy, and we focus on how to live our lives safely and devoted to what is sacred and pure, clean. We are carrying the weak. We are taking care of the weak if we're strong. But if we're weak, we can turn to this community of people who are devoted to living a sacred life. And we can expect that they are going to feed us with spiritual food. That being information, knowledge, understanding, clarity of vision, so that we all can live at peace and be happy, even in a world of turmoil, with a sense of, wow, we are connected with a holy, powerful presence that will not abandon us. We may be tested. Our commitment to doing what is right may be tested, but we can stay faithful to that calling to live with integrity. I keep saying the word integrity over and over again. Whether that got started because of reading the Epic Times and Eisenhower saying, live with integrity. That's all we have. It's the most important thing. And so, why don't I end with that? The time is coming. It's going to be hard. And yet we can live with integrity. Let's don't fall into the trap of seeking vengeance. As another scripture says, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. Leave vengeance up to God. We don't want to bring sorrow to our own family by stepping out in a sense of anger to have retribution for what the government and individuals are doing to others in our world. But we will always just keep turning to that sacred presence, that sacred, holy source of life.
God. This is a very special day.